boy. Don't slide down here with all that lotion on your legs.
They got you lubed up out here in Atlanta, huh?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what, too, though. You don't have as much power around here as you thought.
Don't tell me my legs look good.
You don't have that much power around here as you thought. Because you said you was gonna give us the tour, then it was,
Let's go.
Thank you.
I think he's working.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
No, he's not working too hard. Don't work too hard.
He's not working. He's gonna definitely get some.
Man, we got some real dogs in the building today, man. We might have a 9 on 7.
You know what it is? I'm great.
Hey, that's the first time he can say that about me.
Hey, don't worry. When we get him on the show, man, I'm gonna tell you why we'll always have beef.
Hey.
We will have beef forever.
You got a good football story?
He's a victim. Uh-oh, a victim.
He wasn't even playing.
You're a victim, bro.
You shut him down?
No, I'm just being antagonizing.
Can you stand on this?
So we got a new policy. It used to have our birds where you couldn't step on them, but Greg Beadle's our president. If you were able to go in the locker room, he put them on the ceiling.
Ah, smart.
So we don't have wasted space. So I'm not sure now the policy with the ones with the birds on the
We're
ground.
gonna walk around.
You got the Dion on though.
Yeah, you see it.
That's respectful enough.
Respect all the
That
policies.
means something.
Look, Ryan, I'm getting old. Look, I got readers.
You got 2 pair.
No,
You
that's
put-
because
you
that's
put them both on.
No, that's for my chief of staff if he needs a little pair, and I got a little pair. This is the last time I seen these guys. Look, I got your sneakers.
I had James on though. He's leaving the parade, so we fired up too. It's like we won the Super Bowl. Channing's outside on the trampoline with the kids, right? So he got outside bouncing on the trampoline. He walked out with real bottles of wine. We was like, shit, we ain't got to pay for this? Let's get it. Man, it wasn't our final moment, but man, we celebrated the Super Bowl. It was hell of a podcast.
Great podcast.
How much difference is it than when you were here in, 2020, right?
A lot. The weight room being built, the locker room being built, the new cafeteria. These cards, these play cards,
Yeah.
they're all like their official cards. Spencer, he went out and got all of their cards and made it this wallpaper and made this room kind of unique. And it's over. It's pretty cool. Like I thought it was a great idea. Like I don't know how they snuck me up on the wall.
Okay, I see you, Rob.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That was an old one
see
too.
you, Rob.
That's from before. If you come in here and get some history, man, like you make the team, you get on the wall. Like that's dope.
That's special.
I thought so.
Where your people at?
And they right over here.
Miss Coco was nice
Miss
to me.
Coco. So look.
That ain't how you talk, Miss Coco.
Now they gotta act out.
Kelly.
Try to,
Look at all
no,
them.
where you going?
That ain't.
Where you going, Shay?
What side? Look, Chan.
Look at the food though. Look at a great job they do
cooking
now.
now.
Like, look, they take care of everything. You come in, I get my little fruit, everything you want. Don't try to hide me. They all want to hide it. Everybody's shy.
Man, let's go start the pot.
Let's go do the
start the show,
podcast.
man. Because you got to work.
I actually got work to do.
You got a job.
He was a scheme guy.
Oh, you a hater now.
Oh,
You-
so he Puka Nakua and Cooper Cup.
All he did was.
Oh, what kind of guy?
That's what people say. I mean, I think they both cold. That's what
Man,
people
y'all
say.
crazy, man.
That's what people
You
say.
say a scheme
dogs.
guy. That's what you say
He called him
when
a scheme guy.
when they put it on you. Hey,
No, Sean McVay as a head coach is amazing.
Oh,
Sean McVay as a football player.
What? He put it on you.
Marist High School.
He got the player of the year.
I had nobody on my team, Cole.
Oh, so you were supposed to get
I
it.
had 19 tackles against Sean McVay. It was Marist. I played tight end, quarterback, running back.
I talked to a dude that said they padded your stats.
Who padded my stats?
Dude,
you know what padded my
dude named
stats?
Derek
These
Williams.
damn knees and hips.
I'll tell you what right now. This is the definition. This is the anti-Tony Dungy meeting, man. You making all kinds of excuses and explanations.
Hold up, limitless, take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless, take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless, take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it.
Hey, man, well, welcome to the show again. First off, congratulations, new head coach, not so new anymore, of the Atlanta Falcons, Raheem Morris. This is The Pivot, a part of Fanatics, Fred Taylor, Channing Crowder, I'm RC. You had a whole offseason now, so how do we feel now about our first pick of the draft?
You know, I'm really fired up with the decisions we made based off of the current climate of what happens in the National Football League. You know, the quarterback position has been pushed up to such a high level now, and if you don't have one, you have no chance to win, right? So, like, going to get Michael Penix secured our future and secured the way for us to go whenever that future happens and whenever that starts based on our current climate. You know, like I'm so pleased that we got Kirk Cousins and his leadership and everything that he brings. And then you get a chance to go draft a young guy that can watch that and watch a guy that's actually had played at a high level in this league, made a lot of money in this league at multiple teams, has done it on a different level, is a great family man. His wife is from Atlanta. And now Penix has a chance to, kid from Tampa, come in here, settle in, pro ready, get a chance to watch him, get a chance to sit behind him, get a chance to see him lead his team and do those things. And like, really, when it's his turn, you won't have any question whether he's ready or not. And like, that is the most important part for us, right? We want to be able to secure our immediate future, and want to be to secure our future that's going to happen with this man.
I'm currently watching the Hard Knocks with the Giants and all that stuff, so you see the whole offseason.
For sure.
With that, where you see him going through, you see him calling people, trying to jockey for position in the draft. With that, Rod, did you like, were y'all just jacked up like, they might let us get the Penix? Because it surprised the football world. It surprised me, I'm not gonna lie.
So you know what's crazy about it is like when you go through the draft, right, everybody's trying to be so secretive about their information. And we were really secretive about it, right? The only people we're talking about was those top probably 3 quarterbacks in the draft, which were like on your shows and doing all the stuff that they do and all those other different venues. And they talked about those guys. And Caleb Williams was great, Drake May's great. All those guys, you know, were all dudes. Right, then you look at the other people in the draft and the 6 quarterbacks that all went before anybody really thought they were, and it's like, that's just how it happens, right? That's the climate of what it was. It was a good quarterback draft. And when our guy was there, when we had the chance to pick, we were excited. We were jacked up. And there's a bunch of different players you could have taken. You know, there's a bunch of different players. It's good players in every single draft. But like that quarterback position, if you got a chance to get it, go get it, because hopefully, and I'm telling you, forget hopefully, we're not going to be in position to pick a quarterback at that level again, because I know what Kirk's going to be able to do.
Yep.
That's just the bottom line.
Right, and here we are, training camp show, football is back. And as much as you need a quarterback, you guys really need, when I looked at your first 5 weeks, I just want to fast forward to your schedule. You open up with your old running mate here at Pittsburgh. Mike T is here, and then you're at Philly. And then I think you got the Super Bowl defending champs.
Yep.
You guys got a tough schedule. You got to be ready to go.
The best thing about sitting here at this round table is I know, like, you guys know that all of that stuff means nothing. Mm-hmm. When you get into the training camp, everybody is coming out and you don't know who's going to be good.
Yep.
It's the best, most competitive parity league that in the world, and things change every single day. So no matter what that schedule says, like, you better be ready to deal like it is the Super Bowl champs coming in, like it is somebody with great history like the Pittsburgh Steelers coming in. So, like, for it to be people that people really got all this credit involved in, like, great for us. Great for my anticipation to enlighten the guys on our hype, to get ready to go out there and compete with the very best. I mean, I love that. And like Ryan, he's the only guy that's got to worry, but he got to figure out who he's cheering for that first week.
I wanted to go back there because as players, we all look at the schedule. We're all guilty of looking at the schedule and say, boy, that Monday night game, that's the Philly game. But you and Tomlin coaching down in Tampa together, the Steelers, the history, the whole thing. You got 2 black coaches, black head coaches opening up. I'm sure you had to look at that and just smile.
I didn't, but I know he did. I know he did. So I could speak for Mike on that note, but he was on this show when he proclaimed me the best head coach that wasn't the head coach, right?
Yeah.
And like, I know when he looked at it, he gets himself some little pride out of that because, like, that's my older brother, right? And I got 2 older brothers because his brother Ed, but those are my brothers, right? That's part of my family. That's part of my makeup. Everything that I've done to this point when it comes to coaching. And I know when he looked at that, he has such a sense of pride because he knows he's going to walk right in my locker room and we're going to dap it up and we're going to go out there. But I'm not going to let him load me to sleep either. He's still Tom Brady, right? Yeah. He's still Batman, and Batman gonna shake your hand, man, love you up. And then at the end of it, man,
put that utility belt on, though.
I got a reporter in our local media that's from Pittsburgh yesterday, so he asked me a stern question, so I had to give him the Mike Tomlin voice. Good. And I told him, I said, I'm talking Mike Tomlin for you. The standard is the standard, As much pride as I have about it being with them, for me, I better worry about it after the fact when we're all said and done. Right. Because Big Bro's coming, man.
Yeah. It's good that you mentioned family, and Fred brought up family. The last time we had an opportunity to speak, you were a defensive coordinator that had just won a Super Bowl, and I was asking about being a head coach. And at the time, we were talking about minority head coaches, African-American head coaches. In total minority, if you add Canales and Saleh, it's going to be 9, so the most ever in the league. But you mentioned at the press conference, you said, you know, it is about the coaches that have come before me to lay this path, and it's going to be about the ones that come after me as well. And then you pointed to Jalen, though, and you was like, but it's more important, it's about him. What was it like, man, to be looking at your son in that moment when you got another opportunity to be a head coach?
That was surreal. Because you look out, and first of all, you know Jalen, you jumped in the trampoline with him. And I've never seen this boy sit still ever in my life. And when I looked down, I happened to pan to my left, and you're looking at your son, it became a really special moment because he was actually paying attention to what I was doing. And it was like even deeper than that because it's like he's paying attention to what you're doing in life. And you know that, but as much as you know that, it still was a surreal moment when I got a chance to look out and see my son in the stands, my 2 daughters, and they were just, you could tell they had a sense of pride. And it was an unbelievable experience. And it was crazy because the last time you guys saw my son, I just remember him saying, hey, Daddy, could we go back and get on the buses and wave to the people again? And he was talking about the parade.
Yeah.
But to see him sitting there paying attention to, in our house, what you guys did a beautiful setup with Alicia, what she was able to do, and all you guys come in and the amount of work that you put into it, turning my house into a studio. And then to fast forward, when you guys talked about being a head coach and the problems and all the things that just go involved in putting your best foot forward to make that happen, and how confident we all sat there saying, I knew it was going to happen at one point, for it to happen a couple of years later, your son to be sitting there and us to be doing and recapping this again, I thought it's special. And I thought it was like meaningful. And I think it's something that you got to have a healthy respect for when it comes to all of us.
I don't want to say the cheat code because you're good at what you do, but you brought up Tony Dungy already. You brought up Mike Tomlin already. Yourself, Dennis Green, like I can go on for days about those head coaches, those not minority or black head coaches. What are you saying in these meetings? Because you surprised me again with the pick, and also, I'm not gonna lie, I ain't think gonna get this damn job, bro. Like,
you know,
what, like, to young coaches, when you sit down with them, because we know you as homeboy.
That's right.
I don't think you sitting to me, it's like you talk to us, but you correct me if I'm wrong.
You know what's funny is like your most authentic self is probably the best way for you to go about doing your business. And the more authentic I can get with my guys, which he would know how I am in those meetings, and it's got to be a certain amount of real, it's got to be a certain amount of detail, it's got to be a certain amount of truth, some honesty, you know, some compassion. You know, you got to have all those things mixed in, because at the end of the day, man, we got to be that person for everybody in that room. And then you got to hire people around you that can be the person for other people that maybe you can't connect as well with. And I think that's like the most important part, like all the connections, the people first attitude, the we not me that Sean McVay preached out in LA, you know, being able to go out there and see how they did that thing out there and how they set it up was so special for me, because I thought that was like amazing, right? And I've been lucky, right? You name some of the coaches, but people forget to mention like Herm Edwards, right? When I was an intern with the Jets and I was with Herm Edwards and I got a chance to see him with his messaging, right? It wasn't much, it was not a better person when it's come to delivering messaging than Herm Edwards, and talking about the shield and what it meant to him and how he was going to relay that to his football team. And you just felt a certain urgency about it, right? And then I got a chance to work with Mike T and be around Coach Dungy and all the greats in our past. And like, it's not just the black coaches, it was Monty Kiffin, rest in peace, Rod Marinelli, you know, and like, that's the history of our game, right? And I'm a great thief. I'm gonna steal it all from him, man.
It's a copycat league, you have to. But you said you were lucky. You know, I like to say you've been blessed.
I like it.
You've worked, you've earned it from being a quality control coach there, then a head coach, then an interim coach, assistant. Now you're back at a head coach. Talking about preparation, you mentioned all of the guys that you've been able to steal from. With all of that, you're set up to succeed. I think this is a great opportunity for you. How do you feel like when you look back and say, man, I've gone through all of this, I've worked with all these amazing people, and here I am now, being able to steer and drive my ship and prepare another group of young men. Channing and I, we talked about the guys that are on your coaching staff.
Oh, yeah.
One of my good friends, Ike Hill, you got Lance Schultz. being able to extend that back to them. Like, how does that make you feel now that you're able to afford those guys those opportunities?
It was awesome because you started off by saying your show, and I was going to correct you and say our show, right? Because you're only as good as the people around you. And I've been so fortunate, man, to get Zach Robinson, somebody who's been around in LA and won a championship with. I was able to go hook back up with Jimmy Lake, somebody that came out to LA, had an experience himself that brings a wealth of knowledge from head coaching at Washington that was with us in the pros. And then you just go down the list, right? Guys you coach, like a Barrett Ruud, which you just mentioned, a Lance Shelters. And like all of those people, they feel a certain responsibility to you. And I feel that same responsibility to them to give back, to make sure they can reach their highest potentials no matter what their goals and their aspirations are. And like that's what I think about every single day. And then even the people that I just met, Mike Petrie, Delane Ledford, right? Those guys to me, like working in the off season with those guys, man, I had to find a way to find that special bond with those dudes. And like Marquise Williams, like I thought that was special. Like, and we're working on that, right? And I can feel it growing every day, and I can feel like training camp happening, and I can feel like this authentic juice just coming out of our building. I can't wait to get to practice tonight to get more, right? And like, you find a way to like not worry about what other people think. Is it the right decision for you? Is it the right decision for our organizations? And I got to be honest, I got to be really thankful to Arthur Blank for allowing us to do that, right? Because not everybody do that, right? Some people meddle, some people get in the way. Arthur is such a supporter, and like, that's what you need. Like, he's like a father figure to me. He always has been, even when he fired us. You know, like, hey, get out the building, but you know you like my son.
Right.
You know, something happens in life, he call you, you know, and then like, I'll never forget the day when I got the call, the fax saying like, Brian Levy, my agent, called and said, hey, you know, Atlanta wants to interview you. I'm like, good. I was locked and loaded, man. Like, and you can't tell nobody, like, I want that job. You know, like, you can't, you know, because, like, at the time, you're interviewing for 5 different people, you know? It's like, but you know so much about the place. You know about the people you're going to be with. You know so much about how you can get that thing right and how you can fix some of the issues that you had the first time you were there. You know some of the ins and the outs. And it was just a fun opportunity to go do.
It's such a cool thing, right? You mentioned, you know, hey, get out the building, but I love you, but you're my son. You were the interim head coach here, too, on a team that felt like, and I don't want to say this about players, that felt like it just no longer was able to play the way they needed to for Dan Quinn. And with a roster that wasn't great, you guys go 4-7, but Arthur Smith gets the job.
Yes.
You get the call to have another chance to interview here. How was it so easy to put behind being kicked out of the door, to have the level of excitement you had to come back and be a head coach here in Atlanta?
I just think, you know, you ask your players to do it all the time. You know, like, we cut players and we bring them back and we ask them to forgive. What separates us, right? What's the difference, right? Like, I can give you everybody cut spill that ever cut you. Hey, man, go prove us wrong. Go out there, do your deal. And then if something happens, we get a chance to bring you back. We'd love to meet back up with you, right? There's no difference, right? So, like I got opportunities here. You know, I got a chance to coach on both sides of the ball in Atlanta. I got a chance to be the interim head coach. I got a chance to lead men. I got a chance to lead a team that I helped develop with Dan Quinn. I got a chance to try to turn some things around and provide some energy for the city, right? And you got to earn it in this city, right? There's a whole bunch of people from New York, Philadelphia, they all moved down here, right? And then, like, you got to ask them to be your fan. Nah, you better go earn it, right? And that's what we learned, right? That's what we learned in 2016. We went out there and lost that championship, right? You had to earn it that year. And as we earned it through the games, the stadium started to get more and more hype. The belief around us got more and more hype. The Migos dropped their track. And it just went crazy, right? It became our theme song.
Yeah.
And like, I know what it's like. I've seen it. I felt it. And I want it in the worst way again. You know, like, and I look at some of the history of the guys like Julio, like a Matt Ryan, you know, and like some of the guys that I was able to be here with, Mohamed Sanu, you know, Taylor Gabriel, some of those guys that we did it with at a high level. I want to do it for them too. You know, Roddy White.
Yeah. People forget Roddy was.
I want those guys, man. Harry Douglas.
Yeah.
Like, I want it for them, like more than anybody. Like McClure, like, I mean, them dudes, man, they gave some sweat out here in Atlanta.
When you look back at that time, you mentioned that championship. What did you take away from being up 28-3 in the Super Bowl MVP quarterback, one of the best wide receivers of all time, playing against who many consider the greatest quarterback to ever play this game. What did you take away from that loss going forward?
You know what's crazy is like I'm on that Kobe theory. Everything's a learning lesson. And that was a great learning lesson for all of us, right? And it's like that other guy on the other sideline, I looked at him and what he did, and that's what you got to do. You got to remain super focused, super locked in, and you got to finish the deal. And he was able to do that. And that's the greatness of who he was. And like, how do you steal that moment and those thoughts and those teaching principles from him, right? And, you know, like I laugh, I giggle. You beat out Bill Belichick for the job. Man, get out of here, man. You know, like, this job was set. I got the job. It is what it is. Like, I got so much respect for the greatest head coach that's ever coached our game. You know, arguably, however you want to look at it, Shula. You know, I mean, I don't disrespect Mr. Shula, but and one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever do our game. I don't want to disrespect Joe. You know, it is what it is. Peyton, none of them guys. But like, you had two all-time greats over there, and you got two great locked-in lessons on how you go about your business and win. And can you do it in your own authentic style? Yes. But like, that lesson for me is something that you never want to like forget. You want to finish those deals. And how do you do it? It's just remaining consistent about your process, believing in that process, and being able to deal with those results. And I was pretty comfortable in being able to deal with those results, knowing that we could fix our process.
And Rob, with your past experience as head coach, the interim, then before with Tampa, what did you learn from that, positive and negative? Just something you never do again, or just like that 28-3 situation, just something that having that experience now you in Atlanta, okay, yeah, that I figured that out. I ain't gonna do that. Like when you say something crazy to your wife and she snap, I ain't never gonna say that again. So it's just something with, you know, saying now having the experience that you have.
So you know what it is? It's not that, right? It's exactly the opposite of that. You know, like, you gotta empower the people around you. Like, no matter what they make you, who you are, there are always gonna be people around you that can give you some type of advice, particularly when you hire them, and that you can listen to make you better. And I am around a lot of great people, and I'm around a lot of great people that was already here, some of the people that we brought in, some of the people that I'm able to listen to, some people that I gain advice from, and like, take those things, those lessons and those moments and use them, right? When I was 32 years old and as a head coach, there is no menu put on your desk on what to do. I had one dude I can call and say, hey man, Mike T, hey good, hey, I got an issue. Yeah. You know, let me go watch this on how you handled this problem, you know, and you know, Mike, you know, hey man, I don't try to take away distractions, I embrace them.
Yeah.
Right, so like now, you gotta add those people into your building. Guys that have bigger picture thoughts, high capacity to do different things. You gotta empower people within your building and let their coaches come out of their room and move within your team in the framework of what we're trying to do to get things done. And you gotta be able to do those things in a humbling way. You gotta be able to talk to your owner and tell him the absolute truth and be honest and upfront and be able to do those things in a humbling way, right? Because you don't know what answers you're gonna get, but all you know is you can tell them the truth and your thoughts, right? You can gather those thoughts and you can slowly think about those things with people around you because you know you trust those people. And that's what's most important.
Going back to stealing from the other coaches, I just love that, right? It's always a copycat league. Speak about Tomlin. His thing is the standard is the standard.
That's right.
Coach Coughlin was, we must ascend. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. Coach Belichick was do business as business is being done. And that's what, as a player, that's what we take away.
Down the rock, keep going.
Your philosophy as a head coach, if I'm a young guy in your locker room, what's one thing that's gonna follow me maybe the rest of my life that I can also use in life?
And my idea out there was put people first, right? And if you put people first, that brings out a whole different attitude to you, right? And then your culture just changes the game, right? It changes everything. Very similar to what it is in LA, right? The we, not me mentality that Sean McVay preaches, and it has become LA, right? And here, it is a part of our ethos. It is a part of everything that Arthur Blank talks about. It is the reason why we match so well together, because we put people first, right? And that's been a part of me since you've known me being a young DB coach, coaching you, and watching you handle your group, and watching you have meals with the team and throw Thursday night meals, and being able to come there and watch your team eat on your dime while we're watching tape that we should be watching on our own. Put people first, man. and you'll get the best results out of everybody. Like all the sayings that people steal from people, right? I tell people all the time, somebody just asked me at a press conference yesterday, what is your mantra? I don't like to give the team their mantra. I want the team to let their mantra come out in the video. And I want you to be able to feel that mantra when it does come out, right? Some of the best things I've been around have come out mid-season, right? When we were, I don't even know if people know, but when Rob Mandelli got up and did a team meeting when we were in Tampa in 2002, we won the Super Bowl, he went up there and he talked about pounding the rock. And I got the visual of this old man slamming his fist, and then we got this big-ass rock, and next thing you know, it was called Pound the Rock, right? And that was our deal. I don't know, somehow Carolina stole it a couple years ago. Steve Smith was upstairs, and we just saw him. But I remember that happening organically. I remember that happening with how we were playing and what we were doing and what that moment was. Actually, y'all came in and beat our butts on a Monday night football game, like in Pittsburgh, and like it was like embarrassing. And we just kept going. We just kept no blink mentality, right? Yeah, more Mike Tomlinisms. You can see that big horse right now with the eye, right? It is what it is. Like that's what we want to do.
I just wanted to say, let's stay away from chopping wood.
Have you ever heard that story?
That's what we did in Jacksonville under Del Rio.
Okay.
They brought this huge log and a big-ass axe in the middle of the locker room. And he was like, we got to keep chopping wood, guys. Keep chopping wood till we, knock it down. They went in there with that axe.
Again, Fred, like I said, I want the team to form that mantra.
But that guy, he went in there with that axe and missed, and damn near cut his leg off.
Jack?
No, Chris Hansen.
Kicker.
Okay, let's stay away from the axe.
No chopping wood.
That's a lesson to learn.
Yeah. That's a lesson learned.
You are
Write that
32
down.
years old when you became the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Same amount of facial hair.
Same amount, exact same amount.
Mustache looking good.
You might have a little bit more on your chin.
I got a little bit right here.
You might have a little bit more on your chin.
I get forced to cut that off, man.
I was in year 11
I know.
at that time. I couldn't imagine having to run an organization. And you've mentioned how some of what you are as a coach has changed and evolved. You were a different man then, too. How has the man evolved from that standpoint, and how will that help you in this opportunity as a head coach?
You go from almost this brother mentality with the guys, you evolve into this guy that's able to give guys advice, to now I'm getting over, man, and I'm like this father figure. Like I was used to being an uncle, right? Because I was like, I tell people all the time, I was like J. Cole, right? I was this middle child. Right, I was stuck between the older generation of the Monty Kiffins and the Mike Tomlins, and then I was right above the Kyle Shanahan, the Sean McVay, the Matt LaFleur. So I had been J. Cole for so long, I really didn't know what that was like, right? Then I had my own children, and I started to realize, like, how you want them to grow up. And then you look at them, and you want to set this sense of pride for those guys. And it really becomes no different when you talk about the family-first mentality that we want to have here with our guys, and bringing their families in and embracing that and being around them, and giving them this example of light that they can look at and be proud of as their head coach, along with our city. And like, I think those are the things that like I've kind of grown on and just matured. Whereas before, man, like, I went to dinner with my players all the time. And not that you can't go to dinner with them, but it's just a different feel when you do it now, right? It's really an example of what you do, right? I remember taking Lance Shelters out when he was playing with you, and I said, you want a salad? He said, I want no salad. I look like a rabbit. The man ate steak with ketchup, right? And it's like you're showing coaches, you're showing players how to evolve and really accept their roles and what they owe our guys and what they owe to this game, because we all owe to this game. It's given us so much.
I was gonna say, me and Lance, it was that first time I looked at a dude, I had about 50 pounds, and I was like, bruh, why did you just try me? Because Lance will try anybody.
It don't matter.
He doesn't matter. And that's why when I saw him, I'm like, damn, Ronald hired Lance Shoulders. I hope he done calmed down since back then. but Coach, it's funny that you just said it, because you talked about the old guy. He was like the Belichicks, and we can go to Parcells, Lane Kiffins, and all these guys. Dom Capers. I was with him down in Miami. Dom knows some damn defense now.
He knows some ball. You ever see Dom's notebook?
What's that?
Man, I got lucky enough, man, to catch a Dom notebook. Man, it's the best handwriting you ever seen in your life.
Dom can get down.
He can draw a whole playbook off memory.
Dom would never get mad, but he would very gracefully cuss you out with no cuss words.
That's it.
Well, he just I can't put you in if you can't make this play, and that's not going to happen for you, so we're going to be okay. Damn, you just hurt my feelings. But it's crazy you say that because we were in Orlando, and it was pretty cool because I was sitting down, and we walked in a restaurant, my wife and myself and my kids. You were there with your wife and Sean McVay, Kevin O'Connell, and y'all all boys.
Yes.
And it was cool just to see that. We were just sitting around talking. But, I'm not trying to kiss your ass, Coach. But people are going to talk about you like that.
I have a question, though. Kevin still cool with him after he took his quarterback? They still tight?
We'll re-tee up the initial question. Ra let him know that a number of times that night.
That table conversation, you be like, man, tell me something about Kirk, Dad.
Stan Kroenke. There was a bottle of Screaming Eagle on the table.
Ra let him know, what are you going to do now that I got your quarterback? And I'll leave it at that. But even that, the brotherhood, y'all the next McDaniel, Shanahan, like, do you ever think about that you're in that? Like, you're a part of that. You're the wave coming down. Bro, when my son is watching football, I tell you this, there's going to be a Raheem Morris tree, the guys that you're raising up.
Mm-hmm. That's
like,
cool.
Have you ever thought about that?
That's really cool.
It's going to be the people coming off of you that are going to be the great head coach in the future?
Honestly, every day. Because I want nothing more than the people that come through Atlanta and has had the ability to work with us for them to go get their own opportunities and become great. Because you know why? Because somebody wanted it for me. Mike Tomlin, Monty Kiffin, Rob Marinelli, Joe Barry, Rich Bisaccia. I mean, you can go through the list of guys that wanted it. Matt LaFleur was under me and still wanted it. You know, Mike McDaniels was under me and still wanted it. Sean McVay's dad. You know, like, it's unimaginable, the people that was in my corner for the right reasons about becoming a head coach and being able to form your own tree. And I want the same thing for those people. And like, that's something you think about. That's something you think about. You do. You know, you really do. Because like, those people become special. Like, and like you said, we were all sitting there, and there's a reason we're all sitting there. Mm-hmm. Like, we won a Super Bowl together.
Yeah.
Like, that.
They don't talk. Just talk over here
I'm
when
sorry.
you say that, Coach.
I mean, go.
Yeah, just about how that feels to win a Super Bowl with people and the connection.
That will never change.
It's special. And then when Matt, I go a little further though, you asked the question. He giving Kevin O'Connell hell. Then Matt LaFleur walks in late. I'm sitting there just excited. I'm like, man, this is the face of football. I'm sitting at a table with these dudes, and Roz invited me. They just start giving Matt hell about the size of his collar.
I mean, the man had a big collar on. I mean, he's got the, okay, let's go on camera and say this. Where's the camera? Give me your camera. He has the best eyebrows in football. Hands down. Not even close. And this night, his collar exceeded his eyebrows.
That's tough.
And,
those eyebrows.
And we have fun together.
Yeah.
We're such a family.
Yes.
Like, I know his mom and dad, his wife, I know Mike, his brother. I know his brother's wife. I know his brother's kids. Our kids play together. Like, it's different, it truly is.
It was so beautiful to see that all those great minds sit around, and they went right back to the locker room. Because they were giving each other, the same way we do in the locker room, giving each other hell. And it's just like, damn, these dudes, they're like us. And that's what I said. That now I'm like, oh, they're just like us. But they're great at what they do. But still, I think you're the example of that where, okay, I can go be great. But yeah, I can sit down with you and BS if you want to.
Yeah, man,
but
we
I
got
still am great at, and Dan Quinn said something too, not to cut you off. He said X and O's are one thing, and your X and O's, your scheme, your football acumen is amazing. But how you relate with people is something that people struggle with more than schematics of football.
Dan Quinn gives me credit for that, but he gets the credit for being the greatest connector that I've ever been around. Right? I watch this man connect with everybody. And, like, you want to talk about a great listener? Like, Dan Quinn has the patience like I have never seen, man. And he can sit there and he can listen to it. And I don't know whether he believes you or not, but he made me believe he believed me. and that's all that really mattered. But, like, you can't not talk about the people that you work with, like Dan Quinn, Mike Shanahan, John Gruden, Jay Gruden, like all these guys, right? Got something to them, right? Whether you believe in them or not, whether they made mistakes or not, whatever the case may be, like, I remember the parts of my life that they all affected.
Yeah.
And like, that has built my character. That has helped me build everything that we're talking about right now and where we are, you know, and it's like, that's special stuff.
Coach, I've just been over here just visualizing the players on your team and the roster that you have. Sometimes coaches can get hired into situations.
Yes.
You can be like, they're gonna be the same team because they ain't really do nothing to their roster. They don't have the guys to get over that hump. But you guys, looking at your positions, definitely on offense with Pitts, you know, you got Bijan, you got veteran quarterback, you got, you know, the young guy coming in as what Penix also is capable, I believe, to get it done on this team.
I'm gonna love you up even more, Fred.
The defense is amazing too.
They're not.
Okay.
They're not.
I'm gonna challenge you.
Like, and this is.
Name a better safety than Jesse Bates.
This is all.
Don't you dare give me that look.
The three names. We know Jesse Bates. We know A.J. Terrell. We know Grady Jarrett. Everybody else.
You don't know David?
Everybody else, we trying to figure out they're going to be good.
You don't know Onyemata?
I do know him.
Okay, you got a nasty attitude.
I do have a nasty attitude because those are the only.
Now we're going to make this a sports episode.
Nah, so
I'm going to win.
So tell me,
I'm going to win.
How y'all going to get a stop?
I'm going to win. I'm going to win this argument.
How y'all going to get a stop, Coach?
Listen, Coach, you know what? We don't even have to have it. You know, but you know why? Because, like, that is what I love, right? Because we got some dudes on our team, and I got a lot of belief in, right? Because you know what it is? This thing that we play is like ultimate role clarity. And you know what it is? If you give a guy a role and he owns it and he takes that thing and he runs with it, then people start to know him. They become household names. And that's what we want, right? I'm gonna breathe this belief in my guys. I promise you. We're going to be all right.
I was setting that up to say, how excited are you to show your shiny toys? Like, you know, guys get these like cars and this and that. And
how do you rush the passer?
To want to get out there. Like, you got to be, you know, excited just to display all of that.
You know,
because you got something.
We do, man. Like, and it's not just the shiny toys. It's the guys and what it means to them. Like Bijan Robinson, you guys mentioned him, but you've been around him. Want this guy to have it all because he deserves it. And you know that running back background and what he can do for the position. He could change the game.
Yes, sir.
You know, then you're talking about a toughness of like a Drake London. I mean, I know you guys probably don't know him as well, but this light-skinned dude is tough, man. This beige dude, he'll turn into that monster, man.
Yep. You get big body.
Right, then we went out and got Mooney, right? Got speed, got a little bit of confidence to himself. We got Rondell. We went out and got Ray McLeod. You know, you add these pieces. You know, Tyler Algier hasn't even been mentioned yet. I'm not even gonna talk about the O-line.
Here's the thing, though. You just went through all those names and never said Kyle Pitts, too.
I didn't even say Kyle Pitts yet. You know, and like, I look forward to watching these guys all grow together, right? And like, they believe in each other, and that locker room is all really that matters, as you guys know. Like, I don't got to explain that to you. Like, that is the thing, right? That's where we're at. And now we got to go out there and do it, right? Like, forget the names on the paper. We got to become that people first mentality that we talked about and go out there and find out who's going to be the guy.
Is the Victory Monday destination Magic City Monday for some wings?
You know, I won't be there. You know, that's kind of going out of style now, man. Ever since Channing retired, man, nobody does all that no more, man.
What's the day?
He not gonna fund it.
It is not Monday.
Monday's recovery day now.
Right.
It has changed though. You talking about the cafeteria where guys
man.
really care about that stuff
The
now.
performance team, man, I can let you hang out at Magic City no more.
Man, that pole was long back
Arthur
in the
Blank
day.
does a great job.
He does a great job.
No, man,
of
I
making
didn't
sure the facilities are amazing.
That's right.
You don't want to
I
go
didn't say you was
anywhere
in
else.
Magic City. Fred did.
No, you don't want to go anywhere else.
Chan, what's your pockets like right now?
It's a little light.
Hey, you might need to get on that old Fanatics free-to-play app. Man, you see old boy hit him for $900K with the home run derby?
I saw him. Bro, he about to have a ball.
Shoot, Ruben hit him. He said he going to Hawaii with his old lady.
That's what he need to do. And he need to have a good time. You got to enjoy $900K, man. What the hell you talking about? Enjoy yourself. Good dinners, 5-star restaurants. My man, Fanatics app, I'm telling you now, you can enjoy it.
Look, before he do all that, he better put away the taxes.
There he go.
You get $900,000, he gonna get taxed on it.
He just hit him in the head. You talking about tax implications?
No, look, it's great. I'm glad he chose Fanatics app free to play, right?
Yep.
Free to play. I need to figure that out.
I ain't never hit that.
I was in Vegas and I ain't win nothing like that. But I do know about the taxes. Put your tax money away and have a great time with your wife in Hawaii.
Well, I tell you what, man. Download the Fanatics app. free to play. My man hit him for $900K. You might get lucky too. You never know. Kirk Cousins is my gatekeeper.
Okay.
In that I play with Kirk. Kirk's a really good quarterback. Kirk has made a buttload of money.
Yes.
From a team leading standpoint, he hasn't been able to get over that playoff hump.
No doubt.
Right? Hasn't been able to get those wins. But when we look at his statistics, it's the reason he's played so long because he's played so well. What is it about Kirk that makes you believe? Because you said we're never going to draft early enough to get a quarterback because I know how good that guy will play.
No doubt.
What is it about Kirk Cousins that when you had an opportunity to go get a quarterback, which everyone was speculating they're going to get this guy, they're going to get that guy, how did y'all know right away Kirk's the one we want and this is why it'll work?
Our time in Washington with Kirk, we've seen him perform as a backup. We've seen when he went in and the life that he just gave the team when he did go in and how much success he was able to have. And then I watched him go out to a different team and really do the same thing and not be able to get over that hump, like you just mentioned, right? Then I also seen it live in another guy that came from Detroit, that came to LA, and he got a chance to be around some young guys, and he got a chance to be around his dynamic play caller. And the next thing you know, I'm sitting on the pivot with you guys as the defensive coordinator, Super Bowl champ, right?
Stafford.
I believe in him like that, right? And like people are going to compare, hey, you think he's as good as Matt Stafford? It don't matter. It don't matter if he is or not, right? Only thing that matters is we believe he's good enough for us to win a championship. And if you're good enough for to win us a championship, which we both know he is because we were teammates of him before at a different time, that's the important part. And that team and what he's going to do for those other guys is going to be important. And now he's got all this history and these building blocks to go pull from going to different places and being able to build his legacy. And I want to help him fulfill it.
Since we're talking about building blocks, you've been a part of some legendary defenses. The championship Bucks, legendary players. That Rams team that won it, legendary player. We recently had AD Aaron Donald on the show.
The greatest.
When we went out to camp last year, he was like, don't F with me.
Oh, yeah.
That was his mentality, right? But just the most down-to-earth guy when we had him on the show.
Awesome.
But that's besides the point. This is the point I'm trying to make, building blocks. Being a part of those defenses and seeing all those great players, from the Saps to the Derrick Brooks, the Jalen Ramseys, the ADs, if you had to build a defense right now,
Oh, man.
with the guys that you've been around in your career, you've coached, from each level, which guys would you bring along with you to have on that legendary
You only get
defense?
one of each level. You need
Each
a
level.
front guy,
All right.
a back,
D
a
tackle,
second,
or end.
Warren
backer.
will respect this. I'm taking AD up front. Over Warren. Here, stop it. Warren was with y'all at Magic City. I'm taking AD.
That's my big brother.
It's my big brother. I mean, I'm taking AD because, you know, we talking about two.
Sap gonna be mad now.
He's gonna be mad. He's gonna call me.
Yes, he is.
AD, as you're talking about, don't mess with me mentality, don't fuck with me mentality. Yes, and it went to a whole different level of off the field. And Warren was the smartest player that we can talk about in his detail and all that type of things. But like the things that he did behind the scenes and all that stuff, AD was this natural leader. Like Brooks was our leader, like AD when it comes to those things. So there you go, my second level, right? Derrick Brooks. You can't like exclude Warren. Like he's next. He's the other D tackle playing with Aaron. but like, you know, Brooks, it's got to be at that second level. And then from a mentality standpoint, I get two, because obviously safety is in corner, so you can't tell me that. So Rondé Barber, I got to take because he's not done, and I can't cheer for Jalen yet. And just the mentality that he had going to the Hall of Fame as Rondé, right? He created a new position at the Star and made it popular, where now we talk about it and it's just...
It's a starter.
It's a starter, right? It is. It's a high money value position. He changed that game. And then, like, you know, the safety position, you know, I got to take him because he's sitting right in front of me. But, like, the mentality and what he brought to everybody around him was just different. And, like, it is. Like, you know, and he's going against a great player, too, and John Lynch, right? But Ryan, I got when he was old.
Very old.
So what's going on?
And he came in and still changed the game.
Now? You're picking Ryan?
I'm taking Ryan.
As the all-time safety on your team?
Not all time, just the ones he coached.
The ones, he said, the ones I coached.
Over John Lynch, too.
Over John, you know?
But see, that's what Ryan did to a lot of people. He knocked a lot of people out and had them playing silly. You got to give him that credit, bro.
No, but he would tell you about it before he did it.
I love Ryan.
I'm just telling you.
Say it again. Ryan.
Ryan.
That's a whole nother story.
So you sitting AD and Sapp up front. D. Brooks sitting behind him.
Hey, you know Ryan
Rondé on the edge. Jalen over here.
It's going to cut back.
And Ryan Clark back there.
He's going to be in the backside A-gap. He's going to hit everything smoking.
He got sickle cell.
He's going to hit everything smoking. Hey, I need a backup for Denver. Hey, hold on.
Let's play to Denver.
Hold on, man. We got a special guest.
Gotta be somebody from the West Bank.
What a whole team, man. How you doing, bro?
What's up, baby? Good to see you.
Yes, sir.
What's up, man? You good?
We got a special guest.
I just hear all that, man.
Good old Terry Fontenot. Oh, wait, baby, do it
We
well.
at home, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, by the way,
Feel like we at home.
By the way, get back in here.
Come on now.
Speaking of brothers,
Yeah.
right? It's been a short time,
Smart, brother.
and I had a chance to be around them, right? And I remember I didn't come out right away, and I was on Zoom with him interviewing people, and we're talking about plans and what we wanted to do, and it was this connection that we had on Zoom. And then when we got in person for a long time, and we was able to do that press conference together, it almost felt seamless, and it almost felt like we'd known each other a lot longer. And now we've been able to go through a draft. We've been able to go through some trials and tribulations of cutting people, of having people, of being there together, and how we want to move our stuff moving forward. And everything we do is a collaborative effort. And this is not even interview talk, because like that dude has quickly forced himself into all the people that we're going to talk about and how we want to go about our business and who you need and who you want and what you want it to look like. And like West Bank or whatever.
He knows that. That's my guy.
When I heard him say, and this is when he was in Tampa, I still remember, you go through all the transcripts, you listen to press conferences, and the first time I heard him speak, and I hear everything he says, and when he said mentality before reality, I wrote it down. I still have it written down from when he said that in Tampa. And I remember, you see a person like that, and that's a real leader, man. That's a guy you really want to connect with. So before we never knew each other really personally, but I always admired him from afar and knew how he's special. So then you start talking to other people, other coaches he's worked with, other people, other players, and you see how much respect it really has. But it's been awesome.
My question to you to be this then.
Yeah.
The difference between the collaborative experience of Mark Dominik,
Yes.
who was the general manager at that time, with a 32-year-old,
No doubt.
Raheem Morris in his first, and now with Terry here and going through an offseason.
So the
I'm
greatest
gonna
part.
tell you one difference first. I'm gonna tell you one quick difference. When we were with the owner this summer on his boat, and we kind of stopped on the beach to kind of hang out a little bit, and we started running routes, and I put that thing on him.
Oh!
Shook him.
You still got it a little
Still
bit?
got it, dog. I tore him up.
How many receptions you have?
Mark Dominik couldn't do that.
How many receptions you have on the beach?
None. The quarterback was
The quarterback.
Quarterback was missing me, man. Quarterback couldn't hit me.
What would you say is like the biggest difference between that? Because if you read things about Tampa, a lot of it goes roster, roster, roster. And part of that is the relationship with the general manager.
I don't want to blame any of that, right? And I don't want to blame, it was a maturity level, probably at both of us, right? We both were fairly young. And it's like the collaborative effort of actually sharing all this stuff, right? Like there was a certain amount of secrecy to what Terry does. And we kept those things separate. And it wasn't a relationship issue. It was you thought it was the right way of going about your business because what we had seen when we've grown up, right? You were with Coughlin, and it was a more secretive, a more strict environment. You wore slack. Your coaches wore slacks every day. They weren't going in the grass, right? You had Mike Tomlin, and did you have Bill?
Yeah, I had Bill
And you
too.
had Bill, right? Two different people, two different approaches, and just it was a different way of working, right? And now I went out to LA and I saw the collaborative of Sean and Les, and really Kevin Demoff and Tony Pastore, and really Stan Kroenke. And then I got here, and I got Fontenot, Kyle Smith, Ryan Pace, Arthur Blank, and the boys. And it's like Greg Beatles and like coaching staff, and everybody's all involved. Jerry Gray, right? Our assistant head coach. And you bring all those people together, you want to have a real collaborative effort of being able to share information because you're not worried about it getting out because you trust all the people in the room. Where when I was 32, I just seen that you're supposed to hide stuff. You're not supposed to talk about it. It was a little bit more secretive. And it's a learning lesson. And it was definitely a lesson that I'm certainly grateful to have. And I'm certainly grateful to have that ability with Mark Dominik to do what we did. We had a plan, right? We wanted to build through the draft. We wanted to start young, right? We got young. We lost games. We were young. We found a way to win them. We couldn't maintain it, and we lost, and we got fired.
Right.
Learning lesson.
You know what's unique and different for me? And I haven't been in a ton of buildings, but the teams that I've played for, the owner's office and the coach's office aren't side by side.
Sure.
I think that in itself,
I ain't think about that.
it speaks volume.
I think Arthur Blank doesn't get enough credit for the amount of support he gives you, first of all. Yes, he's going to have an opinion. He's going to be an unbelievable listener before he gives that opinion. And his opinion is not going to come from off-the-whim thoughts that he came up with alone, right? He's going to diligently research it and be able to present it to you in a way where he means it and he owns it. And then you got to he pays people to go make decisions. And then that's when Terry and I come into play. And I got so much respect for how he goes about his business that way.
That's awesome.
Right now, the building moves differently when Arthur Blank comes into the room. It would have been flowers on the ground. It's like Prince Akeem came up in this mother. But
Who gonna clean up all these damn flowers?
exactly. But at the same time, I don't think he even asked for that. I think it just happens because how he treats people.
You're going to have to go in a second, but I wanted to do this. I wanted to give you this opportunity, and I wanted to know, when we were messaging about setting this up, he was like, hey, man, I got to go to Monty's funeral.
Yes.
And I just, type, rest in peace, legend. What are just some of your lasting memories and some of the things you take away from your relationship with one of the greatest coaches to ever be in this league?
I'm so glad you asked because I had to miss it because that Delta issue. And I felt not bad about missing it, but I just wanted to be there to show my respect in person. Because without Monty, put it this way, Monty Kiffin, as the defensive coordinator, probably one of the best to ever do it, along with LeBeau, Jim Johnson. We can name some dudes that we could arguably Buddy Ryan, whatever. Any Ryan you want to go to, just ask them, right?
Yeah.
But one of the greatest defensive coordinators, he picked me up on the corner in front of my hotel at the Schuler restaurant in Tampa as the DC when I was coming to interview for a quality control job. Wow. Picked me up, brought me in the office, and interviewed me. Every year he would give me his beach condo to go out and take my family out there and enjoy the luxuries of his life. Every year he would give me different roles and responsibilities and things that I needed to do in order to make myself better and never hold me back once. And would he lose his mind at times? There's no doubt. But I took every lesson from Monty Kiffin in the detail and the energy and the thought process and the love that he brought to the football game that will never ever leave me. And he was one of the best to ever do it. Not even close. Not even close. I'm almost getting emotional to talk about it. I got to go. This dude he was awesome.
That's cool, just to hear, though, because, I could see the reverence in the way that your emotion changed when you talked about him. But you once said that you one of the few black dudes to be raised by Italians along with your father.
No doubt.
Explain to me what that means. You grew up in Jersey. You say you were raised by Italians. You don't seem Italian to me.
So I grew up in Jersey, and we had this basketball team. It was an all-star team, and an Italian group ran it, and they took us to Puerto Rico, Chicago. They took us all these places, and it was one of those things where they made it happen for us, and it was they showed us different visions that we would not have seen in the West Bank or Newark, New Jersey, right? And then I went to play in high school, and I played for Chet Parlavecchio and Donnie Soma. And Donnie Soma taught us shock 'em, and Chet Parlavecchio was this maniac Italian showing up with a bloody nose every single day. And he showed me a different physical approach to everything you do. And Donnie showed me this whole world of eliminating color, eliminating everything, and just shock 'em, right? And then I got lucky enough to go to Hofstra, rest in peace, and play for Joe Gardy. And that was the experience that let me know what I was going to do in my life because I wanted to be him. I wanted to go be a defensive coordinator for the Jets. I wanted to grow up and be able to retire and go to Hofstra and make them the winningest program in the history and find a way to produce Dan Quinn, Lance Schultz, Raheem Morris, keep going, Wayne Corbett, and all these guys out of Hofstra. We were LSU, right?
Yeah.
So I was raised by Italians, man. I'm thinking about my defensive coordinator, Greg Gingantino, it's not even close. I was and it was something that was just, that was I was blessed with, not lucky, and It was fortunate.
Why do you believe that the Atlanta Falcons can be a competitor this year?
It goes back to what I said about what the team is and what I want to look like. And it's all about the people, right? And like Terry Fontenot and some of the guys I named that's going to be talking about our personnel and acquiring people to come here and be a part of what we are and not going against what our ethos is and bringing the right people in, right? My coaching staff, all the way from my assistant head coach and Jerry Gray to Jimmy Lake to Zach Robinson and to Marquise Williams and that leadership committee that's leading the coaching staff and just building the blocks of people that you talked about, the Lance Schulters and all the guys that you guys have seen, the Barrett Roos that are up-and-coming players that was able to do it at a high level and being able to collaborate all of those people together and go formulate this team of the guys that we have here, some of the guys that were here, some of the guys that we brought in, some of the guys that we're still yet to add, like not even to mention the support we get from ownership, which you got a chance to see a glimpse of walking around this building. We're going to be something to deal with. And I just believe that.
So will this show.
You got to see me.
This show's so fire. This show's fire. I can't wait. My dog. I love you, man.
It's gonna be tough to top. It's gonna be tough to top this show right here. We got a few more stops.
Hey, we might have did this one too early in the training camp tour, though.
We got a few more stops.
Hey, gonna be texting Alicia. Hey, look, just put some of them right here. You put us out today. Ain't nobody gonna know. Monday motivation.
When is it motivation?
Hold on. I got a team meeting. I got to go.
Fellas, y'all know it's getting closer. August 16th through 18th, the Fanatics Fan Fest NYC. Boy, I can't wait.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, I'm happy that we get an opportunity to sit down with Roger Goodell. I don't know if they could pay it retroactively or whatever, but I need to figure out where all my fine money went. So I don't know how long we got with him, but that's gonna be part of my conversation. Hell, I'm so fired up now, Freddie T. I don't even know who else gonna be there.
Look, Tom Brady gonna be there sitting down with Stephen A. You got Jeter sitting down with Big Papi. You got the pivot, we sitting with Roger Goodell. You got Jay coming through with the 40-40 pop-up, the old throwback, bringing 40-40 Club, you ever been?
We can go to the 40-40 Club?
We're gonna go to the 40-40 Club.
Oh, I'm gonna put on my slacks.
What is it again, man?
I'm gonna put on my slacks and my hard bottom.
Light on the creases.
August 16th through 18th, Fanatics Fan Fest NYC. Man, y'all gotta come mess with us.
Hold up, limitless. Niggas to me, can't pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Trust, limitless. Niggas to me, can't pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up.